Hi everybody, it's Julie, Kansas City girl in a Colorado world. Today is Friday, July 8th, 2022, and this is Flosstube number 96. This is my first Flosstube from on the road. So about, 2 weeks ago? Week and a half ago, we left our home in Louisville, Colorado, which is just outside of Boulder, Colorado. I talked about that in a previous video, but we left and are living a nomadic life, traveling the country in a travel trailer for, we're not sure how long yet. There isn't an end date. Maybe for as long as we can stand it. Don't know yet, but I just posted yesterday a video with a tour of the trailer and some scenery and pictures and video from our first stop. So we are now at our second stop in Boulder, Wyoming, and I hope to kind of do really quick weekly videos of life on the road. The first one was 9 minutes or so because it included a tour. So I'm thinking, these will be like 5-minute videos max. If you're not interested, just don't click on them. They're probably not going to have stitching. They're just going to be like travel vlogs. But this video is stitching. So like all of my videos, I want to start off with showing some previous finishes, what I finished about a year ago. And then I want to show you all what I brought with me, because that is what everybody is dying to know. So what stitching stuff did I bring with me? And then I will show you what I've been stitching on. I haven't finished anything in the last week and a half, but I've started a few things. So I'll show you what I've been stitching on and what I bought and what books I've read. But not a lot of buying and not a lot of reading, because we were so busy with getting moved and then traveling and adjusting. So I think I've got a decent amount of stitching, but I haven't gotten a lot of I don't have as much to show, and certainly not as much haul because I don't have an address to have stuff sent to me anymore. So I think this will be a somewhat short video, although I am going to show you, what I brought with me, so that'll take up a little bit of time. But moving forward, I'm hoping that these videos will be kind of short and sweet, and I really want to do them more frequently, like maybe once a week. It'll be easier for me for editing, and it'll be much easier for me for uploading with my spotty internet service. So I'm hoping to have more frequent videos, but shorter, because if you've been watching me for any length of time, you know that we tend to have we as in the third. Why am I talking about myself in the third person? What the hell was that? I tend to upload long videos, but maybe only filming every 3 or 4 weeks and uploading really long videos, but I don't want to do that any longer. So I'm hoping for more frequent videos, but shorter. So previous finishes. All of my stitching stuff is in storage. So when I'm moving forward, when I'm going to be showing these previous finishes, they're going to be pictures because I don't have them with me. So first previous finish, what I finished about a year ago in 2021. I finished Darling and Whimsy Designs, a pattern called Courage. This was a fundraising pattern that was only available for a limited time, so I don't think you could get this any longer, and it was a really quick stitch. And this is a pattern from, it's a quote from Jane Austen, and I'm doing this from memory because I don't have it in front of me, but I believe it says, "My courage always rises at any attempt to intimidate me." And I stitched this on, I believe it was a 40 count picture, this plus, what was the color? No, actually it might have been an Under the Sea Fabrics. It might have been Christmas in Williamsburg. It's a very deep gold brown. And I just used some random floss from Stash, probably like Color and Cotton floss. So very quick finish, and I finished it as a little pillow. Very quick to stitch. And then the other thing I finished about a year ago was a tribute to Barb Adams from Blackbird Designs. So she passed away, I think it was on July 4th, 4th of July in 2021. And so I stitched up Barb's Strawberry, which was from a booklet, a Blackbird Designs booklet. And I don't know right now. I can't think of what the booklet was. If I remember, I'll insert a picture of which booklet it was in. But it had a series of little strawberries, and one of them was Barb's Strawberry. So it had her initials and the year she was born. So that was a super quick stitch too, just like a tribute to Barb when she sadly passed away a year ago. So those were my previous finishes. And then I do want to insert a quick video because I had also finished, well, and it was probably about a year ago, I had finished stitching some presents for my friend Amy. But then I just like never fully finished them and sent them to her. So when I had to move, I was like, okay, I need to just get these done and get these out. So I finally fully finished these and I sent them off, and Amy's already received them. So I'm going to insert the video here showing these previous finishes.
Just wanted to show you guys real quick before I send these off my finishes. So these little heart pillows are from this Blackbird Designs book for my friend, and I made them for my friend, and they were super easy to finish. And then this is Park Hopper Bart. I always have such a hard time. Park Hopper Bart, my favorite color is the name of this chart, and he has numbers where you can put you can customize and put your favorite DMC color. And this was my friend Amy's favorite DMC color. So I stitched it with that. And then I finished it. This was just some random fabric I had in Stash. And then this was a recycled silk sari ribbon, which I twisted and then sewed down. And it came out really super cute. So those are my finishes that I actually finished a year ago, but just needed to fully finish.
Okay, so what everybody's most curious about, I think, or at least the question I've gotten the most, is what did I bring with me while I'm traveling with no home base? What cross stitch stash could I not live without? So if you've been watching me a while, you know I have a lot. I have over 100 works in progress. I have an extensive collection of fabric floss, patterns, and lots of things that I've kitted up too. So I have bins of things that are kitted up and like ready to be started. I have a lot. So here's the caveat to what I brought with me. Most of my stash went into a storage unit, and that's located near, you know, where we left, which was Louisville, Boulder, Denver, Colorado area. So most of my stuff is in a storage unit, but we are going to be back in that area at the very beginning of September, because we are going to the UK for like 3 weeks in September. So we're flying out of Denver, so we will be traveling back. So I know beginning of September, I am visiting my storage unit. So when I was trying to decide what to bring with me, I had to keep reminding myself, like, you're only going to be away from your stuff for 2 months. You're not, this isn't a long leg where, like when we come back from the UK, we haven't thought that far ahead about where we're going to be traveling, but we may be away from Denver for 6 months or so. So on that leg, I'm going to have to bring a lot more with me because I'm not going to be able to go back. So that is keep in mind, this was, what did I think I would need for 2 months? And I still brought way too much, way too much stuff. But what did I bring with me? Well, first things first, I brought my entire collection of DMC floss. So I have one of these holders that is double-sided and it holds an entire set. So I brought my entire set of DMC. I didn't bring all like the random backup DMC I have. I figure I'll be able to find them Michael's or Joann's, like if I run out of something. I think I grabbed like an extra skein or two of the like 310 and Blanc and B5200 probably. Like I think I grabbed a couple of those, but otherwise I thought I'll just buy if I need. So I needed my whole set of DMC because I'm still trying to do design. I'm trying to design while I'm on the road. And also, I have some reproduction samplers that I am going to be working on. And so I need every color because I don't know what color I'm going to need. So I brought my whole stash of DMC. I also brought my entire stash of fancy floss, which I don't have. It's under the storage right now. But it's not organized, so I wouldn't have wanted to show it probably anyway. But this is all my Color and Cotton, my Classic Color Works, my Gentle Arts, Forbidden Fiber Company, just like all the random floss. I brought all my floss basically because I didn't know what I would need, what I might want to sub in or out. But primarily, actually, I brought it so I could use this time to organize it, like because I need to organize my floss. Oh, especially my silks. I have all these like random silks that I've acquired. A lot of them like dinky dyes, oops packs, like things like that. And my silk has for years needed to be organized, and I just haven't quite figured out the best way to do that. So I threw everything in a bag, hoping I'll get it organized. And if that happens, I will show you all how I organized it. But basically I brought all that. So all my DMC and all of my fancy floss. And then I brought a few whips, works in progress. So I didn't want to bring too many because this leg is only 2 months. So, and my focus needs to be, stitching and designing some reproduction samplers. So I didn't want to bring too much to distract me, but I needed to bring some stuff for like mood. You know, I'm a mood stitcher, so like what might I be in the mood to work on? So I had to bring some whips. So what I brought, let's just grab and go through. I brought, I'll have to insert a picture because this doesn't have like a cover photo. So I brought Alforst Embroidery Alice in Wonderland. This was a stitch along that I did stay caught up with for quite a while last year, and then I fell off. So I was racing Kyle Reckemeyer for a while on this. He has finished his. So that was one work in progress. And like I said, I still brought way too much, but I just thought, you never know what you're in the mood for, you know? And already, even though I've only been out here for a week and a half, already I've been like, oh, I wish I had brought that random thing, you know, that thing that's in my storage unit that I can't get to. There's already been like 3 times that I have wished for something. So I brought the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Under the Sea Club stitch along. This isn't a current stitch along. And it's one I hope to stay caught up with. So I am a part behind, but it releases once a month. And I am behind because of moving. I couldn't stay caught up, but I'm not too far behind. So that is going, so here's the next part that I have to do, which is, oh, sorry about the glare. This treasure chest down here. And I'm using mostly the called for colors, and I just subbed 1 or 2 things to like have it show up better on the fabric. The fabric is, I think, Mystic Fabrics in Gunmetal, I believe is what it is called. So I mostly brought stitch alongs that I want to catch up or stay caught up on. So this is Urban Stitches, That Which Does Not Kill Us. This is a black work stitch along. And each section only takes like a night or two. But I am behind on this, but it's something I think I could catch up. So I brought this. I'm stitching mine on 18 count Ada from Fiber on a Whim in the color Hazelwood. And I'm not using the called for DMC. I'm just using floss in my stash. And I think I did darken the colors. I thought the colors were a little too bright. So there's where I'm at on that. So I'm probably a couple days behind to catch up that. And then I am finishing this, and I think I'm hoping I finish this, this leg of the trip too. Autumn Lane Stitchery, Dark Queen of the Seas. I should have finished this already. And, on, I think it's September 1st, the new Queen comes out. So they just announced this like 2 days ago. They have a Dark Queen of the Woods, I think is what it's called. So they're going to have a whole series of Dark Queens. So I need to finish mine before the new one comes out, which of course I'm going to be stitching. Are you kidding me? Like, yes, absolutely. So I'm stitching her on the Under the Sea fabric that was dyed specifically for her. And I think it's called Bewitched. And I need to just finish the bottom tentacles and then do a ton of back stitch and beading. And she will be done. But she's totally finishable. She's really fun to stitch too. And I should have finished her by now. So she's going to be a focus. She was already going to be a focus, but now that I know that new stitch along starts in September, like I definitely need to focus more. And then this one I brought because I thought this was really close to a finish and I just need to finish it. So this is Stone Street Stitchworks, The Book House. And I'm stitching mine on an Extrude fabric called, it's called Dark Desert, and it's a 36 count, and I'm subbing the floss with like random floss from stash. So just, it's a really quick stitch and I just need to finish it. So that's why I brought this one. This one never wants to show up true. I think this is accurate. And when I bring it in, it totally changes to a different color. And I've got more. Let me just pause and talk about like how I decided from my 104 whips. How did I decide what to bring? So there were a few stitch alongs I was committed to. So like those were coming. Like I made sure like to put on my list the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Under the Sea Club. Like that was going to come no matter what. So any like stitch alongs that were active that I thought I could catch up, I brought. And then I didn't know what to do. I was like decision paralysis. So I actually did random number generator and just like, you know, it said 54 and I went to my whip list and found number 54. So I made a list of, I think I actually have it here. So I'll just show you. Like this was my initial list of, oh, sorry if I'm shaking. I think I shook the table there. This was my initial list. I decided for the first 2 months, I would just bring 20 whips. This seemed reasonable at the time. 20 whips for 2 months. So I just random number generator. I came up with 20 and then I was like, okay, it's too much. Come on, stop. What are you doing? So I think I ended up bringing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I narrowed it down to 10. My initial list was 23 because I kept adding. Anyway, so I ended up bringing 10. So that's kind of how I got to what I brought, right? Because I know some of this probably seems really random, and it's because it was really random because a random number generator picked it. Oh, actually, I think I didn't bring 10. I brought 11 because I remember I went to the storage unit and grabbed this, which is Hands-On Design Philanthropic Pumpkin, because someone asked me about it and I was like, and it was on, originally I was going to bring it and then I thought, no, I'll put it back. And then I saw someone stitching it and I was like, you know what? I am bringing it. I need to stitch it. I need to finish it. So this would also be a really, really quick finish. This is where I'm at on this. So another one that I need to just finish because I'm going to pass it on to my friend. So, and then I had finished Mirabilia, or not Mirabilia, Nora Corbett Aquarius, and I had finished her right before we moved. I showed her in my last Flosstube, and I just enjoyed stitching on her so much, and I was like, I want to keep stitching on a Mirabilia. So I grabbed Mirabilia Andromeda. I have several Mirabilias that I've started, and this was the one that was calling to me. So I'm stitching her on a, I think it's a, oh, this was a Nicholas Flamel fabric. He's on Etsy. He's a Hungarian dyer, and his fabrics are beautiful. So this one doesn't have a name because it was part of a 3. It was the Bronte sisters. So it didn't have a name, but it was that collection, which I've seen on his Etsy. I think you can still get it sometimes. So here's where I'm at on this. I am doing a skin conversion. I'm making her a darker skinned. My inspiration for her, although she is Andromeda, but the inspiration I'm using is the new live action Little Mermaid movie from Disney, which whatever happened with that? I need to look that up. Like, I thought they were done filming. I wonder when that's coming out. Anyway, a live action Little Mermaid. And they had cast a black actress. I think her name's Halle Berry. Her name's Halle Berry because everybody wants to call her Halle Berry, I think is the thing. Anyway. I get Ariel vibes from this pattern. So although it is Andromeda, who is like chained to a, you know, it's a whole story, but I get Ariel vibes, Little Mermaid. So I'm making her a black Ariel. So her hair, I'm going to make like the actress in the movie. That was a long story to get to that. So this one is a finished stitch along, but I've really wanted to, I've wanted to work on it, and I thought maybe I'll catch up somehow. So this is Tiny Modernist Zodiac Signs. And by catch up, I mean the stitch along's done. But maybe I will get some progress on it. I don't think I'll catch up because it's a pretty big stitch along. I'm stitching this on 14 count Aida that I dyed myself. And I'm using her called for floss for the inner motifs, but I changed the border. The border is like just DMC, and I made mine DMC Diamond metallic. So this is where I'm at. I'm kind of jumping around on this one. So I started with Leo in the center, and then I went down to is that Sagittarius? No, Capricorn. I went down to Capricorn, and then I went up to Aquarius. And then my thought was like each month I was, or each it's not quite a month, but as the next signs came in, I would do those, but I didn't. So, and now we're entering Leo season, and I've already stitched Leo. So I might just wait and do the next. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll just work on the border. This is huge on 14 count. And then I grabbed another Mirabilia because I have a lot of floss tied up in this pattern, and I thought maybe if I finish it, then I can free the floss. So this is Mirabilia Halloween Fairy. So I brought 2 Mirabilias with me. So I had to change like every color that came with this because this was it was a kit, and originally it was crescent colors, which then became classic colorworks, and along those years the colors became just so less vibrant. And so the colors I was sent did not look like this at all. Like the orange was like peach. It wasn't even orange. Like this is like a Halloween pumpkin orange. I got a peach, and the green wasn't as vivid. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. So I had to change every color. And then I used that opportunity to just kind of go a little rogue, and instead of doing like this brownish dress, I just decided she needed a purple dress. So this is where I'm at on her. This is XG Designs fabric in the color Elixir, which is like such a great Halloween fabric. And that's where I'm at on her. So like I said, I have a bunch of floss tied up in her, so I want to get those freed. And then another stitch along I've been doing is the full moon stitch along. So with some friends, including Karen from Fox and Rabbit, Jules, who doesn't do Flosstube, but she's on Instagram as Jules Darling, Sarah, Memphis E. Sarah, I think it is, and then Alexis from Alexis My Amazing World. We're doing the full moon stitch along, which basically we just work on a moon project every full moon. I completely missed June because I was in like full moving mode. So June I missed entirely. So I said, I'm just gonna have to make it up next month. So the one I'm working on right now, and Karen and Jules and Sarah, I don't know if Alexis has started yet, but this is Kathy Barrick, Moons of 2022. The second I saw this chart, I just fell in love. So I'm stitching mine on a Fortnite Fabrics. I believe it's a 40 count, and the color is Grandma's Stuffin'. Yeah, it's a 40 count. And I'm doing a full conversion. It calls for like NPIs, and I'm just using silks from Stash. So there will be some changes to a couple of colors that I couldn't quite match, but this is where this is gonna be a big pattern. But here's where I'm at up at the top, which the top is like the most stitching of the whole thing. I think I counted it and now I can't remember, but it was something like 13,000 stitches, something just crazy. So that's where I'm at on that. So that'll be coming out next week for the full moon. And then let me see if I have any other. That is all of the whips. Okay, so those are my works in progress that I brought with me. Now, I did bring a couple of like possible new starts, but here's where I really reined it in, because originally I had probably like 20 things, and then I cut it down to 10, and then I cut it down even further because I realized like I'm only going to be out for 2 months, and I am focused on reproduction samplers, charting and stitching. So look for those coming from Hemlock and Rye, because I bought a bunch of samplers, and I kind of justified it as like, I'm not gonna be able to buy anything after July 1st, and you know, I need something to do on the road. So I think I have 5 antique samplers that I need to do reproductions on. So so anyway, all that to say, I really cut back my new starts because I need to be starting these reproduction samplers is kind of what I was thinking. However, as I will show you in a minute, instead I've just been buying PDFs online and just starting things. So it's not working out super great for me, but one thing I brought to start was the Witchy Stitcher Supernatural Stitch Along. And I have started that, and I'll show you my work in progress in a minute when I get to that part of the video. And then I brought the Modern Folk Embroidery Move Forward in Love Stitch Along. Of course, I need to take that out. I really wanted to start this in June, but I literally could not do it because of moving, which I know I'm sounding like a broken record. I will stop talking about that, but I just couldn't. I couldn't get to it. So I've got it all kitted up, and I brought that to start. And then I had this book with me because I had, as I showed you earlier, this has the tweet hearts that I stitched for Amy. So instead of putting this back in storage, I just brought it with me so that I had like some blackbirds I could start if the mood strikes. And then I brought this embroidery kit. And then that's really it. I have a couple of primitive needle, like smalls, nothing big. I brought a couple of smalls, but I'm not going to show those because I just made photocopies of the chart because those are too precious to like bring on the road. And I didn't even photocopy the cover sheet. I just brought those. And I don't even know if I'm going to stitch those, but just a couple. So yeah, that's it. Like I brought like nothing to start because I like I said, I need to focus on other stuff. So I did bring quite a few whips. I didn't bring a lot of new starts. The other thing I brought that I wanted to show was I brought some fabric. I put most of my fabric in storage, but because I will be starting all these samplers, I did bring a good collection of neutral fabrics with me. So these are just like Zweigart, Mushroom, Light Mocha, several Fox and Rabbit linens, just like a good collection of neutrals, which is not exciting, but I will need those for these reproductions. And I wish I had brought a few fun fabrics for like impulse starts, but I was trying to really like cut some weight and just, you know, whatever, it is what it is, but that's what I brought. So I think that's everything I brought with me, like stash wise. Well, that's not true. I have like a little bag with some like finishing stuff. I'm not even going to show it because it's like nothing exciting, just some like interfacing and Aleene's tacky glue, stuff like that. So I could do some finishing if I do finish anything. But my thought is if I finish things, I'm going to make a trip to Michael's or Joann's and like find stuff to finish it and kind of do that as I go. Because I couldn't just bring all that stuff like just in case. I can't have a bunch of frames. I don't have anywhere to put them. So I didn't bring those. That's more like if I finish something, I'm going to have to get creative and figure out how to fully finish it. So, hopefully I will finish some things. So what have I been stitching on the last week and a half or 2 weeks since my last video? Well, I am doing the swap that Heather, Link is My Homeboy, is hosting. It's a Halloween swap. And so my partner doesn't know who they are. And so I think it's okay to show what I'm stitching. So from Calico Confectionery, which was on Etsy, I'm stitching this witch for my partner. And I changed a couple colors. So it has like a fluorescent orange and a green. And I had a fluorescent yellow and a green. But I didn't have the orange. So I'm stitching mine. I've been working on that. This is a Fortnite Fabrics special, like limited edition. It was in a box, like a stitching box. I can't remember what the name was, but I think it was called Fright Night, but you can't get it anyway. So that's where I got to on that. That's stitching up really fast. And then my car stitching project. So this is fun. For like when we're traveling from site to site, I have this plastic canvas project. So I don't have to have a hoop or a Q-snap, and it's very, very sturdy. These plastic canvases are very sturdy. And the pattern's been quite easy to stitch on the road because it's a nice big pattern, and then there's a lot of fill-in. Like I had to fill in all this white of the moon. So you can see I'm stitching the motifs, and then I'm going to do all that fill-in. So I actually got quite a bit done on this. So this is from Innocent Bones, and it's called Celestial Gothic, and I'll have to put a picture of what the final design looks like because the kit did not include like just a picture of the actual design. It just included like the supplies and the pattern. But that's where I got quite a lot done on that. I was feeling good about that. And then I was able to join the Thursday Zoom. So it's a monthly Zoom hosted by Bren and Karen from Fox and Rabbit. And so quick backstory, I released the sampler Thursday Priscilla Dawes 1870, and Bren wanted to stitch it, Bren from Fox and Rabbit. So he decided he was going to stitch her, and then he thought, like, let's do a monthly Zoom so that everybody's motivated to like get her out and work on her. Of course you can stitch her any other time, but this way at least like once a month we'll put some progress in on Thursday. So I had already stitched Thursday twice because I stitched the aged colorway and the bright colorway. So I had already done 2 versions, and I was like, well, I think if I'm going to be on the Zooms, I know they wouldn't force me to have to stitch on Thursday to be on the Zoom, but I thought, I want to work on Thursday on the Zooms. So I thought about it for a while, and I finally decided to do just a whole new colorway. So I did like a Thursday colorway reimagined with like my favorite colors, which are deep jewel tones. So like navies, teals, emeralds, like just all of that. So I will release this once I'm done. I don't want to release it yet because I don't know if I'm going to have to change anything if it's not looking right. But this is my palette that I'm calling Thursday Goes Goth. And this is on 40 count picture this plus Murky. And here is my progress where I've only worked on her on the Zooms. So this is 3 Zooms worth, I believe. But I was able to jump on the Zoom, even on the road, which was really fun. So I plan to still be participating in those. So if you are stitching on Thursday, Priscilla Dawes, and you want to be part of the Zooms, they're super casual. Like we just chat and stitch. Go to the Fox and Rabbit website, and they have a tab that I think it's like events and classes or something like that under the tab, and you click that and you can sign up for different Zooms. They do like they also do just a Fox and Rabbit monthly Zoom where you can just stitch with them, and they do the Thursday Zoom. So, and then I think they were doing another one, but that's where you can sign up and you can join us. We would love to have you. Okay, so then this is where I went off the rails a little bit because I had considered doing Christmas in July, and I even had packed 1 or 2 Christmas projects to bring with me, and then I talked myself out of them and I put them back in storage. And I was like, I just won't do Christmas in July, no big deal. Well, then my friend Diana, it is Kismet, I remembered that she did a stitch along last year called Kismus in July. So the story is Diana's birthday is right before New Year's. So she always, between Christmas and New Year's, like no one wants to do a birthday stitch along, or like everybody's busy, everybody's doing their own thing. So she decided to do Kismus in July so that she could do a stitch along with people in a time of year that isn't necessarily like so challenging for people. So anyway, I was like, well, I need to do Kismus in July, but I don't have any Christmas stuff with me. So I went looking through like my old PDFs and like charts I had on my computer, and I had a few options. And one chart that I had on as a PDF, now I should qualify that this designer I don't believe actually releases her patterns as PDFs, but she's a friend of mine, and she had sent me a PDF of this pattern as like a one-off like favor. So that's why I had it on my computer. So I decided to start Nikki's Creations Embroidery Christmas, which I will have to put a picture in. And I went into my neutral stash, and I had a piece of Color and Cotton Sampler Gold in 40 count, which is just one of my absolute favorite fabrics. And then it's charted with DMC, but I just pulled a bunch of Color and Cottons for mine. So this is how far I got. And so this is my Kismus in July pattern. There were a few good options. So I might even start another one before the month is over. But this is stitching up really quick, and it's really, really cute and fun to stitch. Okay, so then the Witchy Stitcher Supernatural Stitch Along. I did start that, and I am caught up, except for a new one just came out today. So now I'm not caught up, but I was caught up. So this is a 40 count Color and Cotton in the color Sweet Tea. It was a fabric of the month in May of this year. I don't know if it'll be available like outside of that, but it was a fabric of the month in May. And this was part 1. It's a Siren. The only change I made was her skin. Her skin tone was just like a pale peach. And I kind of wanted to give her like a fit. I was like trying to think like a scaly, fishy, kind of like someone who doesn't see much sunlight because they live deep under the sea. And I think that the colors I used were like 920. It was the DMC 928 range. So it was like, I can't remember exactly. I think it was 927 and 928 maybe, which is like a blue gray. So that was the only change I made. Oh, and I gave her nipples. I gave her French knot nipples because she wasn't charted with any. But that was a new start, and then I caught up. But now the new part just came out, so now I am not caught up. And then the last thing I stitched on, what I've been stitching on, is my own Hemlock Rye Reproduction sampler. I think I'm just going to show you a sneak peek. Once I'm done, I'll show you, you know, the whole shebang. But the sampler is tucked away safely right now. I did bring all of these antique samplers with me to chart, but after I got it charted and settled on the DMC, I tucked her away. So I will show you more as I get more done, but this is where I'm at on my reproduction sampler. So a little sneak peek for you. I'm loving how the colors are coming together. And I can't wait to show you the whole thing, but this is your sneak peek. I'm not even going to give you like details about anything else until there's more to say. So that's all my stitching. So I did buy a couple things. I'll be honest. I bought a couple things. All I can really buy right now are PDFs. So okay, so Barbara Anna. I love Barbara Anna. I love Barbara Anna. Everything I would stitch everything she's ever designed. And she has been coming out with these stitch alongs, like just, it feels like every month. They're just like, they're just nonstop, and I love them all. And I was trying to resist the newest one, which was, I think it's called Winged Dreams. I was trying to resist it, and then she released the next part, and I was like, So I went over to Creative Poppy so I could buy it, and then I bought a few other things while I was there. So just, you know, I just went on a little kick. There was a bunch I'd been meaning to buy, and I just like kept like putting it off. So anyway, okay, so I bought Winged Dreams, which is not done yet. This is an ongoing stitch along. I bought Dreaming of Van Gogh. I bought Dreaming Miss Claus. This might be a Kismus in July start. I bought Woodland Dreams. And then I bought A Cup of Frida. And then I thought I better stop. There were more I wanted. That wasn't even all of them. But I thought, well, that's enough damage for now. And then I was on Instagram, and I just randomly came across a post about this pattern, and I was like, yep, I'm gonna need that. So this is, the designer is Stitching Cabin, and this is called Reading Bookshelf 2022. And I just thought, how lovely. So she said she was combining her love of bullet journaling and tracking with her love of cross stitch. And I used to do some bullet journal stuff. I don't really anymore, but and I did something similar to this where like I would track my books. Now I'm going to need 2, probably 3 bookshelves in mine. So I'm going to modify the pattern a little bit to make it more bookshelves, and then the little knickknacks, I'll kind of spread them between to make mine able to fit all the books I'm going to read. I'm also going to change the categories just a little bit because there's some categories in there that I'd like to add, and then there's some I don't read. Like I don't read horror. I don't, and I'm not going to, and I just know that. Like I'm not going to read any horror books. I don't read mystery thrillers really either. So I might take those off and add some more specific like romance categories, like historical romance and dark romance. And then change regular romance maybe to contemporary romance. I'm going to play with that a little bit. And the pattern does include an alphabet so that you can do that customization if you like. So I thought that was such a fun idea. And then the last thing I purchased was Rhonda's Originals. I love Rhonda's Originals. The style I love. But she posted that she was having a 20% off sale, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, there's a few I've had my eye on. So might be time. So I bought Black Santa and Black Mrs. Claus, I think is what they're called. And this is actually probably my next Kismus in July start, one of them. And then I got Feminist, which is the Ruth Bader Ginsburg pattern. So grabbed those because she was having a good sale. All right, that is all the stitching. I just have 3 books to talk about because I haven't been reading much at all. I hope to start reading more, but I haven't been. So I haven't finished a lot of books. So I'm just going to talk about 3 and then I'm done. So I had been wanting to read this book by Alexis Hall called Something Fabulous because I'd heard really great things about this book. And I planned to get to it eventually. And then it actually came up as an audiobook on Kindle Unlimited. And I thought, well, perfect. So it kind of jumped ahead. And I listened to this. So if you have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, which I do, they do have some audiobooks, and you can check them out on Kindle Unlimited and then listen to them in Audible. And I also have an Audible subscription. So anyway, so I listened to this as an audiobook. This is a historical romance, but it's gay. So Alexis Hall writes queer romance. And I think it's all historical romance. I don't know. No, that's not true. That's not true because I have another book from them that's contemporary. So actually Alexis Hall just writes queer romance. So anyway, this is a historical romance. And this was really good. It was absolutely hysterical. Like, parts were just so funny. Really well written, entertaining, and the audiobook was really good. I think I would have had just as great of an experience if I had just read it, but the dog's drinking water. The audiobook was great. The narrator was really, really good. So I very much enjoyed that. And I will be reading more from Alexis Hall. And then another book that was on Kindle Unlimited was Colleen Hoover, Heart Bones. So this is the one I never heard anybody talking about. Like, you know, people talk a lot about Colleen Hoover books, but I hadn't heard anybody talk about this one. So this is a romance, and it features the main character, the female lead. Her name is Bea, and she is in like a weird situation with her single mom. I don't think it's a spoiler to say, because this happens, like, it's on the back of the cover and it happens right at the beginning. So her mother is a meth addict, and they live in, you know, squalor and poverty. And Bea has just graduated high school, and her mom ODs. So she has nowhere to go. So she goes to stay with her birth father, who lives in Texas. So she doesn't really have a relationship with him. He was like a one-night stand that her mom had. And so over the years, like, she's tried to have a relationship, but they really don't. So she gets like kind of thrust into this situation with her dad. And it was a perfect summer romance because it's set in the summer. Like, she's just graduated, and it's set on like an island. It's near Galveston. So it was just a really nice, like, summer beach read kind of vibe. I love Colleen Hoover's books, all that I've read so far. I've still got quite a few to read. There's always a twist. There's always some intrigue, but they're just so easy to read, and they're just really hard to put down. Now, this one, the twist, I did see coming a mile away. I kind of like from the beginning was like, I know what's going to happen here. And it kind of played out exactly how I thought. So I don't know, but it was still good. It was still enjoyable. Other books of hers, I don't see the twist, but this one, I definitely saw it, but it didn't matter. It was still really fun to read. But I don't know why people don't talk about this one. Maybe because it's just a little bit more forgettable for Colleen Hoover. Like, her really popular ones just tug at the heartstrings a little bit more, and are maybe more memorable, but it was a nice, solid, enjoyable romance. So I had a good time with that. And it was free on Kindle Unlimited. So then the last thing I read was Hitched, by Kendall Ryan. So this is a contemporary romance. And I listened to these on Audible. So these are on the Audible Plus catalog where you don't have to use a credit. With your Audible membership, you get 1 monthly credit that you can use on like anything. But you also get access to the Audible Plus catalog, which is just full of all sorts of books. And those don't cost any credits. And you can listen to as many as you want. So I decided to check this out. I'd heard of this author before, so I saw that this series was on Audible Plus, but it's a series of 3, so it's Hitched volume 1, 2, and 3, and I really have no idea why this book was broken up into 3 parts, because when you combine them, it's just a normal length romance. So it had to have been like a money grab thing initially, like, you know, to get you to buy all 3 parts, or I don't know. I have no idea why. Like, literally there was no reason it needed to be broken up into 3 parts. Like, as I'm, you know, listening to each part, I'm like, why did that need to be its own thing? Like, when you put all 3 together, because I listened to all 3 back to back, it's just a normal romance novel. So anyway, all that to say, I don't know why it's broken up into 3 parts. I would count it as 1 book. My Goodreads challenge is going to give me credit for 3 books, which is ridiculous, but whatever. But this is, it was a good, you know, it was a good time, but I wasn't like blown away, by this book, but it was good. So what happens is, the 2 characters, let me see if I can remember their names. It's weird how I remember everything that happened, but the names just fly right out. Noah, the guy was Noah. I don't remember what her name was. I don't remember. Anyway, their parents started a company. Their fathers started a company together. It's like a marketing company, I think, and have been very successful. They're all very well off. But the father's, his father dies. His mom dies. Her mom dies. The moms die like years back, and then her father has recently died, something like that. Anyway, no, her father is alive. It doesn't matter, okay? But there's one parent that's alive. Her dad is still alive, but he has terminal cancer, so he's about to die. So, like, you know, trigger warnings for like cancer and death of parents. Anyway, all this to say, they are set to inherit the company, but there's a clause in the father's will that they can only inherit their share in the company if they get married and get pregnant and have an heir. So the company is struggling, like the board is ready to sell the company. So they agree to do this like arranged marriage, and then they want to convince the board that they're really in love so that the board doesn't sell the company or something. It's kind of a convoluted thing. Anyway, they do like each other, but like they definitely had no intention of like dating or hooking up. But this contract like forces them together, and then that's the book. That, you know, then they fall in love and whatever. But there's like definitely some like soap opera drama to it. Like some crazy stuff happens. Anyway, it was fun. It was a perfectly good time, but like it didn't wow me, but like it was a good time. So if you have Audible Plus or Kindle Unlimited, like those are some books you can check out. And hopefully next video I'll have some more books to talk about, because I feel like I'm getting back into my reading. So hopefully I'll have more than 3 books to talk about next time. All right, so that's all I have. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.